Okay, hello dear friends, good afternoon. Such a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And this was my last day in Beijing. And the next day I came back to California. And my trip to Beijing could not finish without going to Beijing China National Art Museum or bookstore. So I went to China National Art Museum, and every time I went there, no matter how many exhibitions they have, no matter permanent exhibition or temporary showcase exhibition, it's always amazing. And one thing about going to Chinese art museum is that there is still a lot of this traditional artwork. Anywhere in the world you go to museum, you see a lot of traditional artwork, but I just feel there is a lot of these classy artworks. Although there are new conceptual artwork, new art pieces, but still this is a place you can concentrate in a very short time to see the classic art on display and in a full range. Especially Chinese painting in Chinese Art Museum, of course. And the Chinese painting, there is magic in it. And there is magic that can only be expressed by people who practice, who has the spirit of it. Do I make any sense? There is something that is very, very unique. That the spirit you have to be some basic elements. I do not know how to explain it. It's very hard. Art is universal, art is global, but there are something that is very, very unique. And the sense of aesthetic and the way of expression, it's much more than just a brush stroke. It's a philosophy. You see this piece of painting, the color is so subtle. There is no bright color. There is no loud color. There is no shiny color. But this painting, you see it is so clean, so fresh, and so bright. It brightens up our mind. And yet it is so real. And yet it's so artistic and so unreal. It's the combination of all these elements and qualities that makes this painting so fantastic. The color combination, the color harmonization, and color transition and shading. It's unbelievable. And every piece, every detail is executed in the most careful and free way. It's a combination of these two. And this painting, the structure, let's take a look at the structure of this painting. It's heavy on top and heavy on bottom, and on the left side a little teeny tiny bit of rock hold up all the painting. And these are not Chinese painting, these are watercolor painting. But I just have a crash with watercolor. I feel watercolor is so romantic, and this is why I am so much into watercolor painting. There is something so melancholic, there is something so poetic, and a little bit of sadness, and a little bit of a little bit of remote, far away, uncatchable feeling. Make it just such a beautiful art form. And sometimes you see the Chinese painting, such a huge piece, and you can feel the artist so, get the energy out, but in so simple way, only ink, only a brush, only a piece of paper, nothing more than that. Wow, this is fantastic. And all the strength, all the physicality is in the brush. I love those paintings. Oh, this is so cool. So good. So, this looks like 关山月, or maybe the sunset of mountains. Looks very much like 关山月的井冈山. Maybe it is. Huge artworks. I am kind of speechless in front of it. If you go to China, you have to visit these places. Wow. Whoa. Wow, look at it. And I think there are 20 million of these leaves. And the artist has painted each and every single of them with this much dedication. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And this one, the brush stroke, the strength of the brush. And this one, the detail of the mountain and the perspective and the wide space. There is something in nothing. The beauty of nothingness and the beauty of random dots. This random dots brings life, dynamic, movement to the painting, liveliness to the painting. And it's totally harmonious altogether. Huge. masterpiece. And then I took a break outside. This is the courtyard of China National Art Museum, and there are always bamboos. When I was young, 30 years ago, there were bamboos. When I was young, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when I visit here, our family can had some bread here, some mantou here. We brought food here because it's cheaper. We could not afford to buy things. And me too, this time I had some cookie here. Just not in the mood of spending too much money. And the pine tree in such a unique, characteristic style. Can just come here to do plein air painting. The bamboo, this very beautiful slender bamboo, very beautiful style. And after that, because the museum, the National Art Gallery, the museum is very close to the center of the city, the very busy commercial area. So I passed by this commercial area and went to a bookstore. Okay, this is my newly bought clothes, so that I was not too out of the date, out of style. Oh. And as I mentioned, in the bookstores, there are area for people to read. It's very good. I got all these books, and imagine how heavy it is. I put on my backpack and took a bicycle back home, all the way back home. Actually, not all the way back home, a bike to home. I took bicycle, I took subway, and then bicycle, and then home. And now these books might be just in your hand. Okay, my last night in Beijing. Bye bye, friends. I love you. I really do. Do.